What are my beauty must-haves when I'm on holiday? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you what I put in my skincare bag and my makeup bag when I go on holiday for my nearly 70-year-old skin. Oh, and stay till the end to find out whether I succeed in actually getting everything into my 2 bags. Now, I did a video recently where I put a capsule wardrobe full of clothes into a carry-on. But this is not going to be that sort of video. This is a video for those of us who are going on a 2-week holiday with a suitcase and who are planning to pack skincare and makeup in that suitcase. So the one bag I will be putting in my carry-on is this clear plastic bag from Amazon. And this is where I'm going to put all my medications, along with a hydrocortisone cream, which I think is really useful if you get bitten. And the other thing that will go in this bag, apart from the hydrocortisone cream, is an anti-mozzie spray, which I will get before I go. Right, let's get on with skincare. And this is my box of stuff. So let me tell you what's in it. So first of all, well, we've got toothpaste. I mean, to be honest, you can buy it at the airport, but I usually take one if I've got one, just in case I don't have time to buy it at the airport. But quite often my husband tends to go to Boots or a chemist at the airport. So if he's going, then I might as well get some toothpaste, or we'll just share one. So toothpaste, obviously very important. Now let's talk about skincare. And of course we need a cleanser. Now, I don't actually have the cleanser that I'm going to get. I've just ordered it and it's from Paula's Choice. And I brought it with me last year. I just bought it and it's a fantastic cleansing balm. In fact, whisper it. I think it's actually better than the Lisa Eldridge. Anyway, I need to remind myself that it's on order and I will be taking that on holiday with me because it's a really good cleanser and it's just a tube. I didn't find that I needed an extra cleanser. I was happy to do my double cleanse just with the Paula's Choice. Now, the other cleanser that I recently bought, which looks a bit like the Paula's Choice, and actually now I've got the hang of it, is quite good, is this Cetaphil Healthy Radiance Brightening Reveal Creamy Cleanser. Let me just quickly show you the consistency. Now, I made a stupid mistake. See, it looks like a cream. And what you do is you're supposed to put it on wet skin. Now, I went in very cack-handedly, like I often do, and I just put a glob on my hand and then smoothed it on my face. And oh my Lord, my eyes were stinging like mad. Not a good idea. But I've now got the hang of it because I read the instructions. Always a good idea. And as I say, you put it on wet skin on your face and you rub it in and it does emulsify. And actually it did get all my makeup off yesterday, including my eye makeup. So actually quite pleased with this Cetaphil, having not been all that keen to begin with. So that might be another alternative. It's actually quite a heavy tube. Can't remember the price, but I will put it down below for you, as I will all the products I'm going to talk about today. And by the way, this is going to be quite a long video. I probably should have said that at the outset. So you might want to pause there, get a cup of tea or a coffee or something stronger and come back in a bit. So on to moisturisers, and this is a huge thing, and this is probably not going to fit in the makeup bag, but it's something I always forget to take because if I'm on holiday and it's a beach holiday, my skin is going to get a bit drier. My skin's actually normal. It's not usually that dry, but on my body it can get dry. And this is such a great moisturiser, I think, this Cerave moisturising cream. It says it's for dry to very dry skin, but I mean, to be honest, it's absolutely fine on your body. I wouldn't use it on my face because my skin is normal and it tends to give me milia if I use a moisturising cream on my face. I don't actually need it, and we'll come to skincare or facial skincare in a moment. But I do think this is a great moisturiser for after sun. Now, onto my skincare, and we'll start with the daytime and vitamin C, which is absolutely vital, I would say, for older skins when you're in the sun in particular. So this is really going to protect your skin from the sun in the daytime, along, of course, with your SPF on top. Now, at the moment, I'm using this Dermatology Vitamin C E plus F. It's okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just feel a bit sort of meh about it. But then I probably feel that about all vitamin C's because I don't actually see a massive difference after I've used it. I just think of it as an extra layer of protection before my sunscreen. So I'm okay with it, but I'm thinking about going back to Paula's Choice. I think it's called the C+. Again, all the details will be down below for you. Oh, it's a C booster, that's right. And it does have, in fact, I remember saying to Cindy from Beyond 50 Skin, when she asked me whether the C booster from Paula's Choice had what do they call it, L-ascorbic acid, and I wrongly said I think that it didn't, but actually it does. I've checked yesterday and it definitely does. However, the dermatology is fine, so I'll finish this up and I'll definitely be taking this on holiday with me. Now, on top of my vitamin C, I'm either going to use, well, I will use my Cerave facial moisturising lotion, which has an SPF of 50. And I might actually take the Cetaphil, which again, I feel a bit ambivalent about this one. This is also 50. Now, this leaves a hell of a white cast. It really does. And also, I know that those of you in the States who are watching will have completely different types of sunscreens there anyway, because you've got different rules. But I think the Cetaphil is okay. And I think I did find a US equivalent. So I'll put it down below for you. And I think there is a similar one in the US for the Cerave as well. So they're okay. They do the job. That's the main thing. They protect you, and you can wear makeup on top. With the Cetaphil in particular, it does leave a white cast. Well, it leaves a white cast for a while, which will then eventually wear off. And then you can put your makeup on. But actually, if you're on holiday in the sun, you're probably not going to be putting makeup on in the day anyway. So maybe you don't need to worry too much about that. But they won't pill under makeup, either of these. But I'll probably take this one on holiday with me. Now, a couple of times during the week, I will be using the Paula's Choice AHA BHA exfoliating mask. And this is a recent addition to my skincare. And oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Now, I've realised that my skin is actually not sensitive. It is allergic to fragrance, but actually my skin must be pretty tough, because I can use this at least twice a week and I don't feel any effects at all, except that it does a lot for my dry patches, because I have really bad dry patches around here, or rather I used to, but not anymore thanks to this. This is absolutely brilliant, and it's a nice thin tube. And given that I will have lots of sunscreen on, I'll probably be reapplying it during the day. It might end up settling in the crevices and I might need to kind of dig it out with this. So I'm definitely going to be taking this with me. And then for my evening skincare routine, after I've cleansed, I will be putting on my Medicate Retinol. In fact, this is called a Retinal, I think, I can't remember. Oh, Crystal Retinal, that's right. And I'm on strength 10 now. This is my second tube of 10. So I don't know whether I'm going to stay on 10 or go up to the next level. The next level is super expensive as well, as a lot higher. So I might just stick on 10 for a while. Really important that you use a retinol at night, whatever you use. I've used Dr. Sam's, which I thought was quite good as well. But Medicate is definitely my favourite. And I think all of us who are in our 60s and 70s should be using a retinol at night. And actually, I've nearly finished this, so I'm hoping it's going to last me until I come back, but I don't know. I might have to buy another tube. And finally, the last step in my skincare regime is to put my Revitalash on, although I've nearly run out of this, and I'm thinking of going back to UK Lash, because this is very expensive, and I'm not sure I'm seeing any difference between using this and the UK Lash. And the UK Lash is about £40 or just under, so I might go back to using that, but I'll see. I'll definitely be taking a serum of some kind on my lashes, because I just find that it really works a treat on them, and they've never been longer and fuller as they have been since I started using these type of serums a few years ago. Now, these aren't skincare specific, but I will be taking this little mirror that I bought in my local chemist. So I think having a magnifying mirror, and this little size one is really good. Actually, you can see it's quite wee. It's not particularly heavy, and it's got this little handle, which I really like. I'll try and find something similar down below for you. I literally just popped into my local chemist to buy this. And then finally, I've got a little hair tie, which I always forget to take, and I've put some cotton buds in there as well. I mean, I might get another box while I'm on holiday. And a couple of pins to pin my hair back as well, because again, I usually forget to bring those. Oh, I've forgotten something really important as well, and that is my dermaplane. Now, this is completely biodegradable, so you can put this in your recycling, and it's so good. And I was a bit resistant to dermaplaning. I was thinking, oh, I don't really need it. And it's funny, we don't really talk about peach fuzz in this country. It seems to be a US term. But of course, we all get hair, and actually I've got a horrible pesky one, which I stupidly plucked years ago. But it does come out using the dermaplane. I just have to keep doing it, sort of keep an eye on it, because otherwise it starts to look very sort of Hercule Poirot-ish, you know what I mean? And if you're on holiday in the sun, you will see and notice a lot more of the hairs than you might do otherwise if you live in a darker climate like I do in the UK. So actually, doubly important perhaps to take your dermaplaner with you. Now, the only skincare items that I haven't mentioned yet are sunscreens for the body, and I've got these 3, and this is what happens every year. I forget to take them with me. I then buy some at the airport, and then I come back and I've ended up with 3 bottles. Now, they're all okay. I've checked actually that the dates are still all right, because I think they must last in the UK anyway quite a long time. Now, they're all decent. I mean, they're so heavy. This one is a Bioderma. I think this is Bioderma as well, which I rather like. This is a spray. And this one is a Soltan. It's a Boots own brand. And it's a 50 plus. The other two's are 30s. Now, I have to tell you, I don't really sit in the sun for very long. And if I do, I go brown pretty quickly. But I really don't enjoy sunbathing. And of course, we shouldn't sunbathe anyway at our age. In fact, we shouldn't sunbathe at all, really. But of course, we know we're going to a little bit. But we really need to protect our bodies because skin cancer is on the rise and we need to cover up with sunscreen and cover up with clothes, hats and sunglasses as well. So somehow or other, I'm going to have to find room for these. They're going to have to somehow be buried deep in my suitcase. Oh, and actually a hairbrush is something else I should have mentioned as well. Right, on to makeup now. And actually in the same vein as sunscreen, let's start with my Bioderma Photoderm Max. Now, again, in the States, you don't have this, but you have something similar. What I really like about this is it's SPF 50 and it's tinted. And it is a bit like wearing a bandage. It's pretty thick, but once it's on, it absorbs into the skin, it protects you from the sun, and it makes your skin look a bit more interesting, like you've got a bit of makeup on. So yes, really enjoy using this and have used this for years. So when I'm on holiday, I'm not really interested in wearing a foundation, but I will be taking the Tinted Hydrator by Wet n Wild, which I absolutely love. I cannot tell you how great this product is, and it's so reasonably priced. Lovely friend Tina of Tina, Her Beautiful Journey on YouTube. She was the first one to recommend this, and she was absolutely spot on, and it's one of my go-to products on a weekly basis. But if I really have some blemishes, and I want to play about with this anyways, I'm going to take the Merit, which is this perfecting complexion stick, I think it's called. It's this one here. I did a video about Merit products, which I'll link down below for you. I'm really enjoying using it, but I have to say that I do need to stipple this if I'm using it as a foundation. But I think I might on holiday try this as a concealer if I need some extra coverage. But actually my main concealer is going to be this e.l.f., which of course I can't read. Oh yeah, there we are, Flawless Brightening Concealer. What I really love about this is it's a pen, or it's sort of, yeah, it's like a pen, isn't it? And it just makes it so easy to apply. You literally just pop it on like this. In fact, I think I took this away with me last year, and I did a video all about what I took on holiday with me last year, which I'll also link down below for you. I'm pretty sure I took this with me. It's just a really easy to use brightening concealer, but it's very light. It's not a heavy coverage. And I like that when I'm on holiday. I don't want a load of makeup, but I do want something. And this definitely fits the bill. So after concealer comes powder, and I'm going to take my Hourglass with me. Now it's quite heavy actually and big, but it's the Ambient Lifting Infinity Powder. And I don't really use this very often. And actually, I've said in a recent video that I wasn't all that keen on it, but I'm going to give it a go because it is a really expensive powder and it is beautiful. But I just found it not quite as mattifying under my eyes as I would have liked. But maybe on holiday I don't want matte. Maybe I want more luminous. So I think I'm going to give this a go, and I'll be taking this with me to mattify my, well, illuminate my eyelids and under my eyes, and maybe just reduce the shine a bit down here in my T-zone. Right, brows are next, and I'm going to be taking the NYX Thick It Stick It, which I really do like. I think it's a great brow product and it's very reasonably priced, so I'm going to be taking this for my brows. Now onto eyes, and I've bought a few new palettes recently, some reasonably priced ones, and I'm going to take this Revolution palette with me because it's got some beautiful colours in it. Look at those gorgeous colours. Very reasonably priced palette. Can't remember off the top of my head how much it is. So I'm definitely going to be trying that palette because that's one of the things I like doing when I'm on holiday. I like to keep my complexion pretty light and not too made up. But I do enjoy, if I'm going out in the evening, playing about with my eyes, as it were, and trying out different looks. So I think having a nice palette like this will be good for that. And I'm also going to take some liquid eyeshadow. So I'm going to take the Kiko Milano, which I did a video on recently, which I'll link down below for you, where I compared this to Lisa Eldridge. And coincidentally, I've got two new Lisa Eldridge liquid Lurex eyeshadows, which again, I'm going to have a play about with. I'm not too sure about this goldy one, whether it's a bit too warm for me. I need to play about with it. And I thought with the palette as well, because I think it's quite good when you're applying your liquid eyeshadow to use a powder just on the top to sort of blend it out. So I'm going to have a play about with these. And I'm going to take 2 mascaras. I'm not exactly travelling light, am I? That's because I can't quite decide. I was actually only going to take the Sky High Maybelline, which I absolutely love. But now, this morning, I put the MAC stack on, and that's what I've got on my lashes today, which I think is pretty good. And I just thought, oh, they're a bit va-va-voom, those, aren't they? They might be good for the holiday. So I don't know, maybe I'll take both, maybe I'll just take one. I haven't quite decided yet, but we'll see if they all fit in the bag. Right, on to bronzers, and I'm going to take this huge Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. Oh, it's so big. Look at the size of that. It's slightly ridiculous, really. Ooh. But I'm going to have a play about with that. Now, I thought that might be, sometimes I think this shade is a bit orangey for me, but of course, if I've got a little bit of a tan, it would probably suit me better. I haven't got it on today, but definitely want to play about with it. And I might even try it on my shoulders. It's actually quite heavy as well. And to counteract that, I'm going to take this tiny little Merit blush, which I absolutely love. There it is. I'm sure I might well use it up over the holidays. You can use it on your cheeks and you can use it on your lips as well. And it's a fantastic product and very light as well. Ooh, nearly forgot, very, very important, eye pencil by Beauty Pie. This is the gel liner in Turkish Coffee, my absolute favourite. It's funny about Beauty Pie, you know, I'm wondering whether to carry on with my membership. I think it's up for renewal in November. So I actually bought a couple of these in case I decided to let it go, because I'm just not drawn to any of their products anymore. So I don't know, the jury's out. But anyway, this pencil is amazing. And if you are a member and you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. Finally, we come to lipsticks, and I'm going to take 4. Let's start with this one, which is the Merit Lip Oil, which is absolutely beautiful. I really, really love it. It'll just give your lips a little slick of colour. In fact, let me swatch these lippies for you just to show you. So this one, there, look at that, beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, I did do the video. In my Merit video, I showcased this, so you'll be able to see it. And I think I've probably used, actually, I've only got about a third left, actually, so I may well finish that off on holiday. But then these other number 7s, which I took last year, and I keep forgetting to use the blooming things. I've got 3. So this one, let me just put my glasses on so I can tell you what they're called. They're so lovely. I'm actually wearing, I think I'm wearing this one, which is called Spring Pink. But let me just show you. They're beautiful. So this is Spring Pink here. That's Spring Pink. This one is Berry Shine. Berry Shine. That's Berry Shine there. Oh, you can really see how blue my veins are, can't you? And this one is something blush, pink blush. Let me show you that one as well. There, look at those beautiful colours. Absolutely gorgeous. They're completely not matte, obviously, so I think they're ideal for a summer holiday. Now, some really important tools to take are some brushes and sponges. So I'm going to pop 1 or 2 of these in. I'm going to take some eye brushes. So I've got a sort of thin one here and a couple of blending brushes here. And this one, which is really good for powder. And that will probably do because most of my products are actually cream. My bronzer's cream and my blusher's cream. So I don't really need any other brushes for any powders or anything like that. And, you know, I think that's it. Now, let's see whether we can fit all of these into the 3 separate bags. Right, this is my Charlotte Tilbury makeup bag, so let's see if I can get all my makeup in this. There you go. Everything's in. Now, the only other thing I haven't mentioned is perfume, and that's because I usually buy some when I'm on holiday, or at least at the airport. So that's what I did last year. No, that's what I did earlier this year when I went to Italy, but that wasn't a beach holiday. That was just a city break. But I bought this absolutely beautiful Un Jardin à Cetaphil. It is a French perfume from Hermès, you know, and not very expensive. I think it was about 80 something pounds. It's absolutely beautiful and it's inspired by Greece or a particular Greek island. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, if you want to get some perfume at the airport, I would do that. Or if you want to take it, then just pack it somewhere in the suitcase, well wrapped. don't worry about putting it in your makeup or skincare bag. So there you have it. Those are my beauty travel essentials. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a longie, but I've really enjoyed making it and sharing my travel essentials with you. And if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments below. Am I talking absolute BS? Am I packing far too much, or have I packed just the right amount? What do you think? And what are your essentials? I mean, I could cut it down. Of course I could. I could just bring the palette and not the liquid eyeshadows. I mean, I could do a lot of cutting out if I had to, but I don't really want to because I know I'm going to be taking a suitcase with me for a couple of weeks. I might as well have fun with my makeup. After all, that's what my channel is all about, isn't it? Having fun with makeup, making sure that we use the right skincare and just enjoying our lives and enjoying the things that make us happy. And thanks again so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I hope you're all doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.